Hello everyone, my name is Michael Mickler, owner and founder of Colossal Entertainment Group. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what it takes to put on an actual concert from start to finish. I try to go into detail as much as I can, but of course this will give you just, a general idea of what goes on to put on the show. Of course there's no way I can give you everything in a shorter period of time that I have. So with this you would get a great understanding of what it takes to put on a concert, and you'll be able to see just, it's a rewarding career, and hopefully you'll pick up on some of the things that I love to do. So here we go, let's start with this. First we're going to talk about the core concepts. The core concepts is the main part of what it takes to put on the show. These are the ingredients. It's like starting with a cake that you're going to bake. When you first start with a cake, you got to have the ingredients in order to know what to put in to be able, to make the cake. So this is what it takes to put on a concert. You have your venue, you have your artists and the band, you have your advertising, you have your travel expenses, and you have social media. These combine is what it takes to actually put on the show. Now I'm going to go in and break each one down so you will have a good understanding of just what you need to do when you go to these particular core concepts and actually get ready to actually put on a show. Let's start with the venue. Of course we know we got to have a venue, because if we don't have a venue we have nowhere to put the artist or the band that we are looking to do the concert with. So of course let's first start with the venue. With your venue, the first thing that you have to do, again, budget is the key, but you got to realize how much the venue costs. Once you realize how much the venue costs, then you can kind of say, I want to narrow it down to this venue. I might want to get a smaller venue. It just depends on, what the cost it is or what type of budget that you have as far as what type of venue that you're going to use. Another thing that you need to be concerned about when you get your venue, you need to realize you got to have security. So when you get your venue, is the security included in the cost? If the security is not included in the cost, again, you need to be responsible for some type of security for your event. Because anything can happen, and you want to have some type of security there. Next is the fire code. The fire code is what the fire code marshal tells that venue for the amount of people that they can have in there. So with the fire code on a building, this building right here can have 620 people in it. This is the Dublin Theater in Dublin, Georgia. The fire code on the building is, I think it's 640, but the actual seats right here is 620, but you can have like 20 extra people. So again, whenever you get a venue, make sure make sure that you ask what the fire code is on the building. Next, you need to ask if the venue provides sound and lighting. Sound and lighting is a key, because if not, the responsibility is going to fall on you as the promoter. Some artists won't use their own equipment. They won't travel with their equipment. If they do, they will charge you very high prices for you using their equipment. They would normally give you a list, and then you can go to Guitar Center or any other outlet that uses rental equipment, and you'll be able to go from there and be able to rent different sound and lighting gear, what have you. But hopefully the venue that you use will have sound and lighting there. So let's go back. At the venue again, we need to see what the cost of the venue is. We need to make sure that does the venue provide security. If not, you need to find some type of security for the venue. Number two, how many people can safely be in this building? And last is the building equipped for sound and lighting? Okay, now, once we cover all of this, let's move on. Next slide. The next is the artist and the band. The artist and the band is going to go by where you're going to take this artist to. What venue? Is the market there in demand for that artist? Why are you bringing that artist there? These are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself before you actually decide what type of artist or band that you're going to put in the venue. But once you made that decision, let's go into what we need to do once we have an artist or band in mind. First, what is the cost of that artist? Again, the cost is going to be the key, because again, what we're trying to do at the end is whatever we put in, we want to make sure that we be able to get back through ticket sales. Number two, after the cost of the cost of the artist, rider. What is the cost of their rider? Rider means in addition to. That means, okay, well, for coming, I want to stay here. I want to eat here. Well, I want to drive this type of car. Some riders could get even crazy as to, I want this particular color M&M. So the rider can go. It's very negotiable, but a rider can get sometimes a rider can get crazy. So make sure that the rider fits whatever it is that you're trying to do. Hopefully you won't hear anything crazy, because in this you can get some real costly riders. Another way to pay for the artist, you got two ways basically to pay for an artist. You can do a flat rate, which is what they call a guaranteed rate. A flat rate means that you tell an artist up front, you negotiate a price, and y'all say, okay, well, I want X amount of dollars for this particular performance, and this is what I want for the rider. The second way to be that you can pay an artist is what they call a door split. You can come up with some formula, 60-30%, 60-40, 80-20, however you want to come up with a door split to be able to pay the artist. And then that's negotiable also. So you have two different ways that you can actually pay the artist. You can either pay the artist a flat rate, or you can do some type of door split with the artist. It'll be up to, between the two of y'all, what do y'all want to do. And the last but not least, whenever you negotiate the contract, you always want to make sure that that artist or the band would be willing to do a radio drop for your commercial. This goes a long way, because this will ensure if people hear their voice saying that they come into your particular venue, they know that those people are normally coming. Because sometimes in promotions you have shows where some promoters put on a show because it goes like with the artist. You take whatever the artist gonna pay, whatever the artist's bill is for you, you got to pay half up front. This is where the artist secures his date for your particular event. The day of the show, when that artist arrives in town, you got to give the other half of the money, or whatever it is, that the fee that he charged you. So what happens is sometimes promoters will have the upfront money to pay for the artist and hope that the advance ticket sales will then give them enough money to pay the back end portion of the bill for the artist. A lot of times that doesn't work. So a radio drop will help with that. If you're able to negotiate, get a radio drop, and that will help increase the market demand for the artist or band. Next is, how are you going to market your particular event after you get your venue and after you get your artist? What ways are you going to market? The best way that, and this is my formula It's been working for me, so this is what we're going to use for today. What I do is I use locally owned stores. Those are your mom and pop stores that people go to that's been in the neighborhood for a good little bit and has a good reputation. I go to those stores and ask, could I advertise in their stores? I put up posters, I put up flyers. Sometimes I incorporate where I let them be a ticket outlet and give them a surcharge for selling tickets at their business. Number two, wherever the location is for the event, barbershops and hair salons is always a good way to advertise. You want to generate a buzz, and no matter where you're going. So if you go into the barbershop and you actually go in and put up your advertising, your posters and your flyers and whatever, people come in and see that, and communication is heavily done in these two locations right here. So if you're able to get the people in the area talking about your event, that's good. Next is the radio. You got to have commercials. You got to be able to reach the people that you want to be able to reach for your event. And also television. Those are two great ways to reach a market that you intend for your show. And last but not least, everybody's favorite, social media. This is one of the best ways to advertise. Best ways. Facebook wise, depending on how many friends you have, well, you can piggyback off your friends' friends. So if you advertise on their pages, you're able to reach a large market of people. So if you advertise on Facebook, that's a great outlet. Twitter, Reverb Nation, different blog sites, and MySpace. For the most part, Reverb Nation, this is a this is a music website. It's for up and coming artists, bands. It gives them a chance to make a page for themselves. So any of these outlets right here would be a great way for you to advertise your event. Now, let's go into conclusion, everything what we learned today. As far as promotions go, we know we got to have a budget. Once we come up with a budget, we know what type of money that we have to work with. From that, we know we got to get a venue. We have to have a place to put the artist. So we got an artist. We got a spot to put the artist in. What ways are we going to market the artist and the venue? And how are we going to advertise it? And last but not least, how are we going to be able to use social media to increase our bottom line? I hope that this has gave you a brief look into what it takes to actually put on the show. Myself, I've been doing this a little bit over a decade, and I love it. I appreciate everybody taking the time to actually watch this video, and thank you so much. And this is my conclusion for Concert Promotion 101.